Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. I am Ryan Bowling. Thank you all for joining me. So, Puff Daddy, or Sean Combs, P. Diddy, whichever name you prefer to call him, has been finally arrested. The feds picked him up, I think, Monday, and arrested him on a slew of allegations and charges that's absolutely stunning. This is just insane. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get right into this article because it's a pretty lengthy article, but I want to read you guys the entire article because I want you to hear it for yourself. What this is, if you can see this right here, here's the, I don't know if you can see it. You can't see it. You can't see it. I wish I could. I wish I had the software for this. But I want you guys to hear this for yourself. I want you to hear this for yourself and then make your own judgment call as to whether or not this is accurate or whatever. But we're going to get right into it and read you this article because this is absolutely insane, okay? The U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York unsealed the federal indictment against disgraced music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, which alleges more than a decade of abusing, threatening, and coercing women and others, racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice, among other crimes. This is absolutely insane. But it goes into detail. Watch it. Combs, who was arrested on Monday night, was charged in a 3-count indictment with racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York said in a press release. Here is a compilation of the alleged abuse by Combs, who has also been known as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, PD, and Love. I didn't know he was called Love. Well, I wouldn't know. I never listened to the man's music anyway, but according to the indictment, here's one. Combs abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. Number 2, Combs, through his business empire, created, quote, a criminal enterprise whose members engaged in or tried to engage in, quote, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice, among other crimes. Number 3, Combs engaged in persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse towards women and other individuals, which included, quote, verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. This is crazy. Combs and others acted at his direction, arranged for women and sex workers to fly to his location, where he, quote, ensured participation from the women, end quote, by, quote, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same and using intimidation and violence. Combs, quote, assaulted women by striking, punching. I did see that video. I think it was his girlfriend or whatever, ex-girlfriend, by striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them, and also engaged in violence against employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. Combs, quote, attempted to bribe a member of hotel security who intervened during a 2016 instance to, quote, ensure silence. The incident, which was caught on film, showed Combs kicking, dragging, and throwing a vase at a woman. Combs used his business and employees to, quote, carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse and commercial sex. And I hope this video doesn't get taken down for using the word sex, okay. The title of this article is interesting because it talks about, one of the other titles talks about, not this title, forgive me, the other title talks about calling this Epstein 2.0. Well, Epstein, who was deleted some years ago, some believe he was deleted. It was supposedly he deleted himself, but it's been rumored and argued that someone deleted him because he was going to spill the beans. This sounds like Epstein 2.0, this article headline said. So this is some really heavy stuff here. So the article goes on, in addition to that, Combs, quote, led a criminal enterprise called Combs Enterprise, which, quote, existed to facilitate his abuse and exploitation of women, to protect his reputation, and to conceal his conduct, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York alleges. As part of that criminal enterprise, Combs, along with other members and associates of the enterprise, committed crimes including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice, the federal government added. This is some heavy stuff. Let's see how this pans out, though. Moreover, Combs allegedly hosted events he referred to as freak-offs, okay, which involved causing women to engage in elaborate and frequent days-long sexual activities with male sex workers. Combs allegedly arranged, directed, oh wow, I hope this video won't get taken down by this, masturbated during and often electronically recorded his freak-offs. This is nasty. Freak-offs, quote, occurred regularly, sometimes lasting multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial sex workers, the indictment alleges, adding that Combs would distribute, quote, a variety of controlled substance to victims during freak-offs, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. Combs and the victims, quote, typically receive IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use after freakouts, the federal indictment added. This is some crazy, insane stuff here, man. In March, during searches of Combs' Miami and Los Angeles properties, authorities seized various freak-off supplies, which included, quote, narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Parental discretion advised for this video. In order to ensure participants in freak-offs, Combs used, quote, violence and intimidation and leveraged his power over victims, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York alleges. Combs also threatened his victims, including by threatening to expose the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of freak-offs if the women did not comply with his demands, the federal government added. According to the indictment, Combs also threatened victims' careers and livelihoods if they resisted participating in freak-offs. As for Combs' charges, and I know this is pretty long, but I had to read this to you guys so you can know for yourself according to what this article stated. As for Combs' charges, one count of racketeering conspiracy carries a maximum sentence of life in prison. One count of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion carries a maximum sentence of life in prison and a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years in prison. And one count of transportation for purposes of prostitution carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. End of article. In other words, if you go to prison, you ain't getting out. Bottom line, you might well go ahead and pack your bags, brother, because it ain't happening. But what is my words on this? Well, first of all, I find it amazing that these allegations are accurate and true, that they would wait so long to do something about this. Clearly, complaints was made about this man years and years ago, and yet nothing was done about it. Now, I've always theorized, as others have theorized, that I believe that Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, whatever you want to call him, PD, P-Love, whatever, was probably a part of a secret occult society. And if you know anything about these secret societies, these secret occult societies, they have you do certain, how can I say, things, if you will, that are supposed to be private. And it is said that they film you doing these things, and then they use it as leverage against you if you do something or say something outside of what they want you to do or say. Okay, they want you to continue the agenda, and you go outside that, they're going to expose you. And in my personal opinion, I have no proof to back this up. I have no evidence to back it up, but I believe he's a part of some of these groups, these secret occult societies groups, and he said something or did something he wasn't supposed to do that went against the agenda, and now they said, we're finna put you out. Kind of like it was with Epstein. Okay, I believe the same thing with Epstein, but with Epstein, I read a book on Epstein, about the situation with Epstein, rather, written by a man by the name of Tom Horn, who has since passed. He's a Christian researcher, and Tom Horn, he dug deep. He was an expert researcher. He dug deep, and the things that he shared in his book was absolutely stunning about Epstein, and that the fact that Epstein was a part of a secret occult society. You know, so we're not going to go into the detail of that, but I believe that that's part of what happened here, and because all of a sudden, all this time he'd been doing this type of stuff, and I'm pretty sure people was complaining about it, but nothing happened. Well, I believe nothing happened because he didn't spill the beans of what this group was trying. He was in line and step with what they wanted. But the minute he got out of line and got out of step with what they wanted, we got to end this guy's career. But at any rate, based even with that, okay, at any rate, one of the things too that's disturbing to me, and I hate to bring this up, is the fact that, and this doesn't prove anything, but I hate to bring this up, but the fact that people like Bishop T.D. Jakes would be seen at his parties. Now, did Bishop T.D. Jakes know he was having these freak off parties, or was that party that Bishop T.D. Jakes was seen in, was it actually a freak off party or just some type of gathering? I don't know. I wasn't there. Okay, one could assume it maybe was, but if it was, what was Bishop T.D. Jakes doing there? Why was he there? If these kind of things, I'm pretty sure that Bishop T.D. Jakes had to have been privy to some of the stuff that was going on there. I don't think he would have went there blind and just sitting up there in the party just to be sitting up there chilling with P. Diddy and celebrating. I don't know. I just don't know, man. But once again, this is not to accuse Bishop T.D. Jakes of any sexual dispositions or anything like that, because, look, I don't know. That's the accusation. I don't know. Okay. Nothing's came out so far. He's taken down, and I think his daughter is preaching now, but that's about it. But that's particularly disturbing after having read all the stuff that he's allegedly, P. Diddy is allegedly guilty of, okay? And to know that people like Bishop T.D. Jakes and others have been involved in going to this man's parties is unacceptable and deplorable, to say the very least, okay? But yeah, this is groundbreaking, and let's see how this is going to pan out. Let's see how this is going to pan out. If in fact B. Diddy gets arrested and goes to jail, is he going to get deleted, or is he going to delete himself? Is he going to try to spill the beans? Is he going to be like what was that guy in what was that movie that came out in the 90s, New Jack City? If one person go down, I'm taking everybody down. If I go down, I'm taking everybody down. Is he going to be like that? And if he in any way acts that way, is he going to get deleted? Like I said, I don't know. We're going to see how this pans. We're going to have to see how this pans out. But these are some serious allegations against this man. And to be quite frank with you, although I never followed P. Diddy's career, I wasn't into hip hop. I hated hip hop for the most part. Didn't like it. Wasn't too crazy about it. And although there are some hip hop songs I do like some of what was his name? Notorious B.I.G. I did like some of his songs. I did, but that wasn't something I listened to common. The only time I would hear it if somebody else was playing it, and I had no choice but to hear it, But I liked some of the songs, but it wasn't something that I was into. I just really did not. I couldn't then and now dig hip hop. Okay, so I never followed P. Diddy's career, so I don't know anything about what he actually did unless I read about it or hear about it, But even at that, I do believe that a lot of these allegations against him, if not all, a lot of them are true. because these are some heavy, heavy allegations. And if they're not true, man, these people making up some serious lies to bury this man. Because of their lies, I'm pretty sure he has the money to afford the best lawyers. The man is almost a billionaire, if not a billionaire. I'm pretty sure he has enough money to afford the best lawyers to prove that all these allegations against him are a bunch of lies and somebody's trying to bury him. But in my opinion, based on what I've read, I believe a significant number of those allegations against him are true. And this type of stuff I've heard goes all the way back many, many decades in Hollywood. You know, it's just, that's why Hollywood is just nasty, 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 nasty. Money is not everything, man. Money is not everything. And when you have a lot of money, let me start summing this up, but when you have a lot of money, it can get to your head. You know, having a lot of money is not the answer to everything. It is the answer to some things, okay? You can pay them bills, okay? You don't have to be worried about being strapped for money. I mean, everyone wants money. Everyone might not want to be rich, but everyone wants money. Everyone, for the most part, wants to live well off. I'd like to have 6 figures a year. That's not rich. It's just well off. But I like to have a 6-figure job or a 6-figure position. You know, I'll be well off. I won't have to worry about being strapped for money. So everybody wants to be well off, I would assume, okay? Everybody may not want to be rich, but everybody, for the most part, I will assume wants to be well off. But in terms of wanting to be rich, the Bible even talks about that. Those who desire to be rich will pierce themselves through with many sorrows. There's a difference between desiring to be rich and desiring to have money to be well off. But when you desire to be rich, you would do whatever you can to obtain those riches. And then once you get those riches, man, you have the power to do anything you want to do. Go anywhere you want to go. The temptation is, I would imagine, is indescribable. The temptation to do, say, and whatever you want to do, I'm pretty sure the temptation is unbelievable, unbelievably intense. And that's where that person has to make a decision. Look, man, I'm not going to allow this money to mess me up. You know, there's people that have a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money, do some freaky stuff. And I think part of the reason for that is because they're bored. They're bored and they have all this money and they can do just about whatever they want to do. They're bored with just regular, you know, love making, if you understand what I'm saying, okay? They're bored with that. They have the money to do the craziest, freakiest stuff, so they end up doing it. You know, it's crazy, man. You don't hear poor people doing stuff like this. They can't afford it. They're poor. But yeah, money like that, and that's my summary of this. Money can call, a lot of money can put you in places of temptation that will be almost impossible to resist. You have to have some strong integrity to be able to resist the impulses and the urge to just be all out. Like it seems this may have been the case with P. Diddy here. But let's see how this turns out. Man. This is pretty heavy stuff here. And yeah, we're going to see how this turns out. But that's what I had to say about that. What do you guys think about this situation? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all and see you again.